Okay, it is 2:22, so let's get started. I'm being very intentional. Now, it is 2:22 on 2/22/22. I was super intentional when I set the time of this Zoom. I hope that you all get as much out of this as I will. But starting off right now, right this minute, I'm part of a group of people around the world, and Mike Dooley is like in charge of it. It's called Infinite Possibilities, but we've all decided we're going to send out a circle of love and light to the world at 2:22. So if you want to just join me really quick in a moment of just sending love and light out to the whole world, we hope that will create like a whole synergy effect, because this is such a great time. The number 2, if you didn't know, is about cooperation and working together and all these things. So the number 2 is very, very important in terms of cooperating with your intuition, cooperating with your soul, and all of these things. So for those who don't know me, welcome. I am Natalie Thomas. I am a psychic medium. I am also a intuition coach. I am also a spiritual mentor. I help people to really get into their intuition and start to listen to their intuition and grow in those skills and really connect with who they truly are and get that that guidance, just like a GPS or something else. So I will get started here. And what I first want to do, the very, very first thing is I want you to take a deep breath and just kind of think about what you're doing right now. Nothing complicated. Just take a deep breath and kind of concentrate on where are you, what you want to get out of this, all the things that are happening right now, right this second. So go ahead and take a deep breath. Really get centered and focused on being present for the next about an hour of time that we're going to be here. Go ahead and take one more deep breath. So what we're going to cover today a little bit is, first I'm going to talk about what is your intuition. Then I'm going to talk about why do you want to ignite your intuition? Why would you want to get into this game? How you can turn it off. So when it starts to be overload, or you're getting too much information and you're in public and it's like crazy, how to turn it off, and then some blocks you might experience. And then I have some quick homework for you. But let me tell you something. That deep breath we all just took when we centered and focused ourselves, that was a meditation. That was a form of connecting with your intuition. You right there connected with your intuition, connected with who you are, connected with what you want in life, connected with your soul. That alone was intuition. That was already connecting with your intuition. That was a meditation. And I don't want you all to think that meditation is some kind of complicated, big, convoluted thing. It's really not. Okay, it's really not that complicated. A deep breath can be a meditation. Definitely, anything you do can be a meditation if you're being intentional, mindful, and connecting with your soul. So, remember, if you're sitting there stressed out ever, just take a deep breath. That's a meditation. So that's first. Let's talk a little about what is intuition. Intuition is a knowing or a hunch or a gut feeling. You know something without any, logic or ego explanation. And I don't mean ego in like I'm a pompous, arrogant person. I mean ego in terms of your mind and your rationalization and the way our minds work. So when you know something with no realistic explanation about it, that is what that is your intuition. Okay, that is your intuition helping you to live life, give you information, help you tune in. So, I all my life have had some intuitive kind of connections, and I never really connected it all until after I had my oldest son, when I was like super psychic when I was pregnant, and I started to grow my intuition, started developing it. And that's kind of when my life started to change, when I started listening to my heart and listening to my intuition and growing that way. I used to sometimes hide my intuition or my abilities because I was afraid that I would be judged, or I was afraid that, I was raised Catholic. They actually believe in a lot of this stuff, but aren't open about it. And so I used to hide it because it was unacceptable. But, controlling someone, religion or anyone else, like a country may do this, controlling someone's ability to really connect with their spirit really takes away all the power, right? Connecting with our intuitions, like our internal GPS. It's not this like super woo-woo idea. It's really actually kind of simple. It's our internal GPS, and it really connects us with who we are. It really connects us with where we want to go. And, just like a regular GPS, when you hit a wall or you come up against an obstacle, let's say a traffic jam in the road, the GPS is going to try to reroute you. They're going to try to find a better route for you, right? If you make a left turn and you should have gone right, your GPS is automatically going to start rerouting you. It's not going to let you keep going all the way to New York when you're trying to go south to, Florida, and you made the wrong turn. Your GPS will immediately and continually, okay, until you turn around or get on the right track, your GPS is going to keep trying to do that. And when you start to ignite your intuition and access that, you really will start to see how it works like a GPS and reconnects you that much more with everything you got going on. So really, your intuition's not so woo-woo. Don't let people overcomplicate this. This is not complicated. I'm gonna give you guys some homework when we're done, but it's really not that complicated, okay? It's really a simple situation. It's really a simple system. So, once you activate your intuition, which will kind of help you guys do today, you're going to start to feel more feelings like in your chest or your stomach or your heart. You're going to start to feel, or your mind, like you might feel a pull or something. Okay. This is your intuition trying to show up to you and come out more. And we all have different abilities. So all of our intuitions talk to us in different ways. So for me, I get a lot of like metaphorical images for my intuition. My husband has like what they call phantom sense and things like that. But mostly your intuition is there to guide you. So it might talk to you differently than me because I understand things differently than you do. We all have different ways. Sometimes you're in the grocery store line and something just comes out like to the guy next to you about something about them, right? There's just intuition that just came out. So your intuition's really not that crazy. It's a hunch, it's a gut feeling, any of those things that happen without any explanation. Okay. You need to also understand, though, that your intuition is going to be opposite of your ego. And if you all know anything about your ego is kind of the thing that keeps you safe. I mean, it's something our bodies and our minds have developed over years of being cavemen and being hunter-gatherers and being people on expeditions to new countries. And like we're trying to keep you safe. Like, don't do that. It's not safe. So remember that your intuition and your ego are going to butt heads quite a bit. And that's partly in the practice of growing your intuition, learning how to balance the two, learning how to get a really good equal balance between your ego keeping you safe and your intuition guiding you to where you want to be and really guiding you to who you truly are. I'm going to talk a little bit about today about my 5-minute meditations that I do instruct most of my clients to do. And also I'm going to talk a little bit in the protection section about how you can bubble yourself and protect yourself from energy, because as you open up more with your intuition, you may become more susceptible to other people's energies in terms of like a spouse or people in public if they're having a bad day, or people at work. Their negative energies may start to affect you more than other things you have going on. So like I said, you want to be flexible though, because your intuition is going to come up with ideas and give you information and you're going to go, what the heck? Really? That's what we're doing? Okay. But you've got to learn to trust it and be flexible. Know that your ego's will is not always the best. So your ego has a plan usually. You get in a car accident or whatever, and your ego has a plan on like how to handle everything, right? But your intuition might be showing up with something completely different. So be open and be flexible, knowing that your ego is there to protect you, but also we are not cavemen anymore. We are not hunter-gatherers. I don't know about anyone out there, but I don't think we're out exploring new continents or anything like that, because I don't think there are any unexplored ones. So don't worry so much about your ego and start to learn to kind of tame that. The more you work on your intuition, the stronger the trust becomes. And when you build that spiritual trust in your intuition, you're building spiritual confidence, which makes it so the next time you got to make a decision, it becomes easier and easier and easier and easier to really hone in on what it is that you want in your life. So remember, your intuition's only ever going to give you a neutral idea, a neutral feeling, okay? It's not going to be an emotional thing. It's always going to be like, you may think like your intuition is going to give you a neutral circumstance, like you should go left, right? You should turn left. Now, your intuition is not going to be afraid to go straight. You must go left. No, your intuition is going to make you think go left. And you're either going to follow that or you're not going to follow it. But that's up to you which way you want that to go. Now, it's always neutral, okay? It's always, no emotion is tied to what your intuition is telling you, because your intuition doesn't understand emotion, because your emotions come from your ego. Now, your soul does talk with your body a bit in emotions, but mostly your intuition is going to talk to you through neutral facts, okay? These are pieces of information. They are not like go left. That's a piece of information. buy that stock, piece of information, right? Call your friend, okay? Like my mom's friend passed away in January or maybe early February, but they're gonna have her celebration of life this coming weekend. And she said, and my mom's not super psychic or anything. She doesn't work on her intuition or anything like that. But my mom said she kept feeling like her friend was saying, call so-and-so, call so-and-so. And it was like an old common friend we had. And my mom called that lady, and it just happened to coincide with another event going on in my mom's life. And it was this huge, like, great reunion of two people who had been friends for a while and all of this, okay? So the information was neutral, call so-and-so. That's not like call so-and-so because she's going to make you feel a certain way. No, it was call so-and-so. And when you trust, you say, sure, and you pick up the phone and call, that's that spiritual confidence. That's that spiritual trust in your intuition that builds where you want to go. So remember, all of it is going to be neutral. The more you trust your intuition, the stronger it gets. And the more you doubt your intuition, the less connection you'll have, the more your ego will take over. And then the more the negative feelings. I mean, everything that happens to your life is neutral. And if you can elevate it to be higher with happy, joyful thoughts, it will go higher. If it's here and you are fearful, anxious, depressed, doubting, worrying, that's going to take you down. Okay. And that farther down you get, the lower vibes. I'll kind of talk about this in a minute. The lower vibes are going to disconnect you from your intuition and make it even foggier. So let's talk a little bit about why we're igniting our intuition and all of this. This is not just knowing things. It can be knowing things, but it's mostly about knowing things and then looking at what you've got going on with a whole new lens. Okay. So you're taking that new lens. Okay. Being joyful, all these things are the way you connect the fastest with your ego. So play, not like playing, like whatever makes you happy, whatever's playing for you as an adult, whether it's travel or, I don't know, going to a basketball game or whatever. Play is important. Joy, laughter, all of these things raise your vibes up. When you find joy, when you have fun, when you do what is your passion, that's going to raise you up, connect you more with your intuition, connect you more with the knowing and the greater feeling of, I see what I need to do. I know what I need to do. I feel confident in this decision. I feel confident in what I have going on. Let's start off with a few easy exercises. So one of the few ways that I've tested my intuition, and some people say that you shouldn't test your intuition. I think those people are full of it. I think you most certainly can test your intuition. Some people think that that's a way to show your intuition that you don't trust it and you don't like, if I'm testing my intuition, I must feel like it doesn't work. But this isn't like a test run, okay? So some of the ways that I test my intuition, when I first started, I would watch The Price is Right and try to guess the prices, try to guess who was going to win next on like the row before they gave their bids, okay? I would try to guess who's going to win the whole showcase before like they even got to the end, like I tried to make reasonable guesses. Another way that I have actually tested my intuition, you take a regular deck of playing cards, go through that deck and like pull a card, but have it like flipped over so you can't see what's on it, right? And then say, okay, and you can do this with another person, it kind of helps. And so me and my husband will do this together. And like, I'll hold the card up where he can see it. And I'll say, oh, I think it's a red card. And he'll say yes or no. And then once I guess red, okay, is it a heart? Yes or no? Okay, it's a heart. Okay, and then is it a 9? Yeah, it's a 9. Right, so testing it using a regular deck of playing cards. You don't even anything fancy, and almost everybody has a deck of playing cards. So you can do that with another person. If you're doing it by yourself, you have to guess what card it was, kind of. So you might want to just make it 10 cards and guess out of one of 10 cards what it could be, or maybe one suit, only guessing like the number of the suit. But you can use that playing card to really start to get those intuitive juices flowing. Another way that I hear my intuition a lot, one, angel numbers, which obviously today being 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 is like an epic angel number. I mean, 2 being the number of cooperation, of love, of manifesting, of working together. And I know that today for the world is about us all working together with our souls and not necessarily cooperating with each other, but mostly with yourself. Okay, you're really getting back to yourself, that unconditional love you have for yourself and your soul, and cooperating with your soul. So that is really where I'm at, where 2 is taking us today. But, I look at billboards that I see numbers on the car, clock in my car. I see numbers at home. Today I was actually in I have these mini manifesting workshops that I attend once a week. And there was 222 people in the call on 2222 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. And so it was really cool. It was like, I see you, angels. I see you guys giving me numbers. I see you guys giving me information. So if you continue to look at the phone at 1, 2, 3, or like I always get 1, 2, 3, 4, like 12:34. But that's another way your intuition's talking to you. You might see billboards. You might have a conversation with someone out of the blue, and they might say something that really hits in a different way. That's your intuition. When these things start popping up and triggering something else, that's your intuition. Let's ignite that. Let's, remember, your intuition's not always going to be like this movie or this huge dramatic. We're not that so Raven. The whole world's not going to stop. The camera's not going to like spiral in on you like it does on Raven when she gets this like psychic view, right? That's not what's going to happen usually. I mean, I'm sure that does happen. And it's happened with me kind of when I just get these overwhelming feelings and things about people. But really what you're focusing on is what little messages am I getting that I can connect and create that confidence. And so first thing about igniting your intuition is just like, forget about all the judgment and all the information you think you know about your intuition. Forget about what you think it should look like. Get rid of all those shoulds, and leave judgment at the door. Really leave the judgment behind, because when you're going to go trust your intuition, you've got to leave that judgment behind you. Our egos is the center of our judgments of ourselves, of our actions, of others. And if you're centered on that ego, you're going to be more disconnected from your intuition. So, really, let's get you going. Now, the other thing I want you to do is the fastest thing to blow out that flame of your intuition is sadness, complaining, venting, choosing your words wisely, y'all. I mean, words have a meaning. When you call, oh my God, I'm having the worst day. What does the universe hear? She wants the worst day ever. Keep giving her bad stuff, right? So really think about how you're framing things, how you're discussing things, what words you're using, they have meaning. Really get into that about like, how am I going to keep my vocabulary upbeat and happy in all these things. So remember, when you're complaining and venting all that, that's bringing those vibes down, disconnecting you from your intuition, getting you a little farther away from your intuition than you want to be. So that's the main thing about why we want to ignite our intuition. Now I'm going to walk you through a few steps of what we need to do. Okay. The first thing you need to do to ignite your intuition is to slow down. This is something I got to work on. I do go very fast, but slowing down. And I don't mean slowing down like not making choices, not moving on your life. I'm talking about slowing down and like smelling the roses, kind of. The idea of like stop and smell the roses. Well, how about you stop and connect to your intuition? Stop and ask your intuition, what should I do here? What shouldn't I do? Really slowing down to be present in the moment. And like we did at the beginning of this call, when we center ourselves and say, I'm totally present right here, right now, I'm open to all the information that, spirit or God or the universe or whatever you want to call it has for me. When you slow down and you're present, it helps your brain to connect. And you can do that mini meditation of just taking a deep breath and saying, I am present. Okay. When you are present, it brings you in. Okay. It focuses your energy. Everything is energy, right? Everything is energy. This lighter I use to light, you can't see this lighter I use to light the candles. My deck of cards, I'm going to pull a card for you guys in a while. All these things, everything is energy. These candles I'm burning for us. Yeah, I lit you guys a money candle. You can't say a money candle and a moon goddess candle, because I knew that's what we needed today. So money and money. We just had the full moon last week. Let's manifest as much as we can. So anyway, everything is energy. And so when you stop and you focus your energy on the present, it helps you to manifest. It helps you to connect. It helps you to create wealth, create joy, create what it is you're trying to create in your life. So that's step one. Really slow down and be present. And if you struggle with that, remember, meditation and being present is nothing about sitting quietly and emptying your brain. That's not a thing, okay? It's just not a thing. There is some quieting of the mind that does occur, but that's not a thing to like empty your brain and be devoid of thought, okay? Really, it's about just being present and just really enjoying the now. Like, I'm sitting in this comfy chair and I'm talking to wonderful people and I'm doing what I love, okay? That is joy, and I can be present in that exact moment. Enjoy it. Be in joy in the present moment, okay? That's step one. Step two is something a lot of people struggle with, the being flexible. My husband struggles with this more than I do. I grew up in a house with a lot of kids. I had 5 sisters, and nothing was ever concrete. It wasn't unstable, but and I grew up like in the same house my whole life. Like in terms of that, it was stable. But, there was always a lot of moving parts. And so there was always a chance that one thing might go wrong or people might get, whatever. So I'm kind of flexible. My husband is the only child, very rigid upbringing. And for him, that release and that being flexible is a little harder. Remember that when you ask for help with your intuition, understand that nothing is outside of the realm of possibilities and nothing is set in stone. Okay. Be open to any conversation, any opportunity, anything that might come, because sometimes the little pretty package you were expecting your intuition to tell you about might look completely different than what you expected it to look for. But trust that for me, it's my guides and my intuition, but for you, it might be your intuition, it might be whoever you believe is here helping us. I do believe there's like something higher than us, especially energetically. But I always trust that my guides will bring me the highest experience, whether it's exactly what I asked for or not. They will bring me the highest experience in my life. So really be flexible, be open to whatever your intuition has to say, regardless of where it fits on your scale of good, bad, and otherwise. Be open. And if you get a message from your intuition, you're like, I'm not into that, ask a follow-up question. Really, I just had a client this morning email me and like, girl, I used to just get a message and then look up what the meaning of whatever I saw or heard was. She's like, and now I ask the second and third question. And she's like, I get such better messages because I'm asking that second and third question. I'm asking why, I'm asking when, I'm asking who, all these questions. So remember that as you ignite your intuition, be flexible. The next thing I want you to remember, step 3, is take your time. Once I'm going to do a little exercise with you guys here in a minute, a little meditation exercise. And I want you to understand that you may go into meditation, you may be calm, you may be present, and you may be asking all these questions to your intuition and get like zilch, like what, that was pointless. But you might be in the shower 2 hours later and be like, oh my God, it just hit me. You might have a conversation with someone later in the day. A commercial might come on. Oh, that's the other thing that gets me sometimes, song lyrics. Like I'll be listening to the radio and a random song lyric will pop up and really hit, okay? When that really hits, that's your intuition pulling those lyrics out specifically for you. So take your time. Don't move too soon. Really wait and get your answers. And if you're struggling, like I've asked a bunch, I don't know, I haven't gotten my answer, reach out. I do a free coaching call. I can help you try to work through that. Okay, the next thing that I say to people is like, don't overthink it. This would be like step 4. Don't overthink it. Your intellect will try to interfere because your ego wants you to stay safe. But you've got to release that judgment ego. You've got to say, I trust me. I trust my soul. I trust my intuition. Okay. I trust my hunches. I trust my experiences. And I've done this. Okay. So, when I was living in South Carolina, I bought this house. Me and the realtor, I looked at every house, I swear. Okay. We looked at like over 30 houses. Okay. I'm probably the realtor's nightmare. But we looked at all these houses. And my realtor is my friend Teresa, and she passed away, and she's like the most amazing person. And if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, wherever, you'll see I talk about Teresa a lot. But I was like, one night, I was like, I'm going to go on here and look to see on the MLS, like the listing service, if there's any houses I can buy, because there's got to be a house out there for me. I got this really strong pull. And I found it, and I went online, and I sent Teresa this link to this house. I said, this is the house I'm going to buy. And I bought that house, okay? But there was no way that house was on listed. It had been listed for like 6 months, okay? But there's no way that neither me nor Teresa had seen it yet, okay? But I trusted my intuition. My ego was going like, don't waste your time again, girl. Like, you already saw all the houses. You're going to have to wait. There's no houses out there. No, y'all, it worked, okay? It really worked, all right? I trusted there would be a house there. I went on there and I found it. And I called Teresa and said, that would be my house. I texted her the link and said, girl, I'm buying this house. So really let the judgment, my ego was telling me, you're an idiot. Don't do that. There's not going to be any houses. Quit wasting your time. Don't open that wound again. Because I was kind of down and out that I hadn't found a house yet. So remember, your ego is going to judge you. Kind of release yourself from that. Now, step 5. This is like the #1 secret, okay? Intuition is not something that's unavailable. Intuition is available to every person in the whole world all the time. But you know what? Some people are a lot better at honing it. Like I'm a psychic because I've developed those skills. It's just like learning how to speak French or something. You learn to do it by practicing. How do you learn to play piano? Practicing. How do you learn how to do basketball? It's practice. We're talking about practice, y'all. We're talking, okay, have you all seen that clip from the NBA like years ago? Practice. Practice, 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 practice. Practice is how you grow your intuition. Practicing those small little intuition tests with the cards or watching Price is Right. I mean, you could do it like I watch I'd watch The Biggest Loser, or what's that other show with Chef Ramsay where he yells Hell's Kitchen. And I would like pick a person at the beginning and see if they won, right? I only watch those shows, like binge watch them, because I can't handle the week to week waiting. But, practicing your intuition, starting out small, starting out doing all of that, and then learning to do oracle cards if that makes you feel good, starting with your 5-minute practice. So I'm going to talk to you a few minutes about protection and bubbling yourself. Then we're going to do a quick exercise. And at the end, I'm going to do a card pull for you guys. So hang in there. Now, we're going to do a quick practice on connecting with your inner self and your intuition. So we'll do that in a second. Now, the protection I do, I imagine a white light glowing from my solar plexus. So if those of you who don't know, your solar plexus is right here, like right underneath right at the top of your rib cage, okay, right underneath your boobs. And I imagine just white light growing out. That was a strong feeling, yeah. Growing out as wide around me as possible, okay? Creating a bubble of protection. Now, if you're in public, once you start tuning into intuition, you may start feeling some things that some people refer to as like an empath or empathic feelings. You may start, like I said, to feel your coworkers' negative energies or this or that, or your spouses or whatever. If that's happening to you, do the bubble when you go out in public. I do the bubble for myself every day, for my kids before they go to school. I do it for my kids at night before they go to bed to protect them from anything in the night because we live in a haunted house. Really doing that bubbling is going to protect you. The other thing I will do is I do carry a lot of crystals with me. So even just talking to you guys right now, I have this here. This is actually a selenite wand that has like a spiral cut out of it. So it's really good for like directing energy at a chakra or like directing energy at your third eye or something like that. Or I also carry black tourmaline, is actually citrine and black tourmaline. So this is selenite. You can do selenite or citrine and black tourmaline. Black tourmaline is great at absorbing negative energies. You can put it outside your house. You can put it in your kids' book bags. You can put it in your car. My husband carries it to work, anything. So black tourmaline or selenite are really good ones. Selenite is self-charging. Black tourmaline, you want to charge under the sun. So want to know more, let me know. I'll tell you. So bubbling myself using crystals. I also do this imaginary thing, and you can do this for both opening and closing off your intuition. So your intuition is kind of like a lotus flower on top of your head, okay? It goes through your third eye, but also this lotus flower. I imagine the lotus flower like opening up on top of my head when I want to get more information, or kind of closing down on top. And you could Google like a video of a lotus flower opening and closing, or closing down when I want to shut off my intuition and keep my energy to myself. You can also close your third eye. Well, imagine right here is your eye, your third eye. You can imagine opening if you want to see more, or closing down if you want to see less. Weird. I did this meditation with my husband yesterday. He's been physically feeling some manifestations of stress. And so I asked my guides to put me energetically into his body so that I could help understand what he was feeling. And I saw myself like Windexing his third eye. So we kind of talked a little about him clearing some of that stuff out. But those are some of the things, close that lotus flower, close that third eye when you want to protect yourself. And then the last thing I do is sometimes at night, well, every night I do this, I imagine a white light, kind of pure energy coming right straight through me, going out my feet. As it leaves my feet, it takes with it any black negative energy that attached to me. And I will say to myself, please return to me any of my energy that was taken by someone else. And please return any energy attached to me that does not belong to me. Gently return it to the owner, the rightful owner of that energy. So every night I'm kind of clearing off those energies because I am, awake and aware, and I am energetically in tune. Sometimes people's stories just latch on to me and I get stuck with their energy. So really every night releasing anybody else's energy that's attached to you, closing off that third eye. Now you can open the third eye right before bed and say you want to get information. I want information in my dreams. Ask your guides to bring you information in your dreams, and they will. And they often say that if you remember something when you wake up, that's your intuition speaking to you, because like from a dream, because if you don't remember it, then it wasn't something you needed to know. But if you do remember it, that's your intuition speaking to you. Now, a few blocks you might run into in starting your intuition, you got to remove a lot of that fear of your intuition. Get rid of that ego fear of taking risky actions. I mean, I'm not saying go out and do risky things, but things that you might see are okay to do. Your intuition may push you in a way that feels a little less comfortable than safety. Really, a lot of your past beliefs, you got to release whatever you've learned about intuition or your soul or spirit or whatever growing up. I'm Catholic. I still go to church. I'm going to go to church. I go to Catholic church, but I really trust my intuition a lot. And I feel my intuition as like Holy Spirit in my life, because the Holy Spirit was sent out to all of us to be with us. So releasing a lot of the beliefs and fears around what you grew up with and all of that, and also get rid of all that noise, that chatter. Everyone doesn't need to know what you're doing. People get a little creeped out when you're like, no, let me ask my intuition, right? You don't have to hide it, but what I'm saying is don't let other people's noise about what you're doing affect how you're connecting with your intuition. Kick that stuff to the curb. And the self-judgment, don't judge yourself. Whatever your intuition is doing, however you're doing with your intuition, you're doing fantastic. Wherever you are in your journey is exactly where you're supposed to be. So get rid of all that judgment, get rid of all that noise. Don't let people get in, your head and all of that. So let's do this. I'm going to do a really quick guided meditation with you guys. If you are driving, disclaimer, please do not try to meditate while driving. But if you're sitting in a comfortable place, we'll find what they call in yoga, yoga nidra, they call it like an easy seat. So find a way that's comfortable for you. You can turn your palms up if you like, or do like this. This is like a mudra, it's called, but this is like for knowledge and intuition. My friend Lily taught me that. So if you do want to connect with your hands, you can flip them up, but let's sit calmly and close our eyes and take a deep breath. Another deep breath and inhale all the good energy and exhale any negativity, anything you've been holding on to, anything. I'm feeling like we've got some tightness in our chest, in our heart chakras today, and a little bit in somebody's throat chakra. So whatever it is you're holding on to or whatever's bothering you, take a deep breath and then release it. One more time on releasing. I want you to close your eyes and imagine yourself at the edge of a woods. And there's a small but clear and safe path for you to walk through the woods. And I want you to kind of imagine walking through the woods. And as you're doing this, imagine the sounds of the birds or the animals. Imagine you can hear the trees kind of swaying and there's sunlight trickling through these leaves kind of on you. Keep walking. We're going to go about 20 or 30 feet ahead of us to where there's this huge meadow opening with some birds flying around and some beautiful wildflowers. And just imagine yourself walking towards this beautiful meadow calmly and quietly. Now, I want you to imagine in the center of this meadow, there are 2 chairs. So keep walking towards the meadow. Now you're in the meadow and you can feel the sun as it broke through. You broke through, the sun is on your face and you see these 2 chairs. I want you to walk towards the chairs and do it slowly, intentionally, seeing butterflies and birds, and you can hear animals in the woods, not mean animals, but you can hear maybe frogs croaking, or maybe you can hear some birds or squirrel chirping or something like that. I want you to walk along and sit down now in one of those 2 chairs. After you sat down, I want you to really just get comfortable, and you can do that in the seat you're in too. Just kind of get comfortable, kind of roll your shoulders a little bit. Release any tension that you're holding. Grab your fingers and really tighten your fists and then release. Do that 3 times. Tighten your fists, then release. One last time. Tighten your fists real tight and then release, and imagine all the negativity just dripping right off your hands onto the ground. Now I want you to sit and I want you to think of something that you're thinking about now in your life, something that you're deciding, something that you're maybe vacillating over, something that you're like, I don't know what to do. Think of one of those situations. Now call into the other chair your intuition. Okay, call in, say, I want to talk with my intuition. I would like some guidance for my intuition. So you're calling out to your intuition to bring you in and come to you with information. Now, this may feel like anything that's really good is going to feel very light and airy. So when your intuition shows up, it may feel light and airy. I want you to sit for a moment and just be thankful for where you are and the abundance and prosperity that you're experiencing in the moment. I want you to now ask your intuition whatever question or issue you have. So I'll give you guys a minute to kind of Think about what it is you'd like guidance on. Really think about how to connect. If you've not used your intuition before, or this is new for you, I encourage you to really greet your intuition, really embrace it in an energetic way, and really be happy that you're connecting now with your intuition. And ask it the question, or ask whatever the question is that you have. Now, immediately after you ask the question, I want you to think in your mind about what was the first thought you had? What was the very first thought that you had right after you focused on the topic and thought about it? Think deeply about what word popped up, or what feeling did you have? Did you get a feeling? Did you get a thought? Did you get an image? So for me, I might get an image like of a diving board. That's what came into my mind first. So what came into your mind first after you asked the question of your intuition, or after you asked intuition, what of this situation? So now I want you to thank your intuition for having joined you, and I want you to get up, walk to the other side of the meadow. Walk all the way to the other side. There's actually a fork. There's a pathway, two paths go opposite ways at the other end of this meadow. Stand for a moment kind of in the sun, and absorb all that great energy of the sun, and then go to where there's the two openings. As you stand before the openings, I want you to think of the same situation or another situation where there's two possible outcomes, either a yes and a no, or I either take this job or that job, or whatever. Think of it as two separate paths. Then I want you to, and I'm going to give you guys about 3 or 4 minutes to do this. I want you to stand right where you are and take 10 steps down one side. I want you to observe how you feel, how it's feeling. Does it feel light? Does it feel airy? Does it feel like it's on your left side or your right side? Does it feel, does it feel strong? Does it feel weak? What is it? What do you feel? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel light? Do you pull towards it? Are you kind of pushed away from this? Non-judgmental. Walk about 10 steps down one path, and then 10 steps down another path. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes, take a few deep breaths, and really test out with both of these things. If I do yes, if I do no, if I do A, if I do B, what does this feel like? Now, having been with your intuition, you can ask your intuition to walk along with you and help guide you, or you can connect with your intuition in a different way and say, let me feel the feelings. So go ahead and take a few minutes right now to go about 10 steps down either path. While you're testing these out, ask yourself, do I feel anything in my chest or my stomach? Do I feel anything in my shoulders? Do I feel pushed? Do I feel pulled? Asking yourself, what am I feeling? How is the answer to my question manifesting as I walk down these paths? You can also observe kind of what thoughts are coming up. Is ego popping in with judgment? What questions are you, and what more questions are coming up? And here's where I will encourage you to ask a follow-up question. If you feel pulled, say, why do I feel pulled? If you feel heavy, be like, what's heavy about this? Why do I feel this way? Think about 25 more seconds, and then we'll kind of bring you back out of this meditation. So now I want you to take a deep breath, go back to where that opening was, and turn it towards the meadow and the sun on your face, and just take a deep breath and absorb that great energy. You want to thank your intuition, your guides, or your angels, whatever you believe in. Give them a good thanks for helping you in your discernment, in your thoughts today. And I want you to start in the physical world, start wiggling those toes, kind of wiggling your fingers, squinting your eyes a little. Remember in your mind what the room that you're in looks like. And then slowly open your eyes and really look back and where you are. And here's a little tip. My intuition will sometimes, the first thing I see after I open my eyes after meditation will be a message. So like today I opened my eyes just now and the first thing I saw was actually my candles over here flickering. And you guys can't see it because when I hold it, but so you guys can't see, it's a white candle and a green candle and they swirled together. And that's amazing because it's showing me the money and my manifestations in the moon energy are really molding together for you guys. All that great energy is really molding together. So whatever you saw first might be a little quick message, might be another way to connect with your intuition. What you see first after you do a meditation. So I hope, you guys can put in the chat. I hope you guys like really got something out of that. I hope there really was something you guys were able to connect with and do. Just real quickly, we will be starting another intuition training, not until May. The reason it's not until May is because we've got a bunch of events and I will be at a couple of places in Cleveland if you're in the Cleveland area. If you're not, I am online. We have our first Friday intuition training. If you're interested in our free first Friday intuition training, that will be next Friday. The other amazing thing is I do a free coaching call with anyone who feels like they need to connect or they need to grow their intuition or they just have questions. I will do a free coaching call with anyone who wants one. So, and this is not a sales call. I know there are a lot of coaches out there. I don't necessarily identify as a coach per se, but there's a lot of coaches out there that say they have a free coaching call and it's really a sales call. Trust me, I've had coaches that they're coaching those coaches on those sales calls to really make you feel a certain way. This is not that. This is like, hey, how can I help you? I really am here to serve and help people because my calling is to help more people. I have some retreats coming up, lots of amazing things going on. So I'd love to talk with any of you who are here live or any of you who registered and are going to get the replay. Reach out. I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Your Family Psychic. So no matter where you go, you'll find me at Your Family Psychic. So as promised, I'm going to do a card pull for you guys. Does anybody, before we do the card pull, have any questions or any concerns or anything they want to bring up to me? You can just go ahead and unmute if you do. Go ahead. Let's see. I think Kristen was trying to say something, but she might have popped off. Let's see if she comes back. There you are.
I saw a street sign that said Natalie when I opened my eyes after asking for joke.
I love it. I love that spirit is like hilarious and will bring us. I mean, I have learned that my intuition and my guides are really like cheeky, funny, hilarious, like really hilarious. That's so amazing. Okay, I'm going to do a 3-card pull, and I hope this isn't worn out on people, but I'm going to do a mind, body, spirit pull. If anybody has any questions, I'll be around here for a while. If you have questions later too. Mind, body. Hold on. You told me the 10th one from the back. Okay. So I have pulled 3 cards. One is for your mind, one is for your body, one is for your spirit. If this hits with you, great. If it doesn't hit, also okay. So first card is for our mind. I will pull it. And if you want to learn how to do oracle cards, we're in the middle of a pre-sale event for our oracle card reading course. It's only $22.22, which is crazy because today's $2.22. But it's only $22.22 during pre-sale. Once it goes live, it will at least double in price. I think it's going to be $55, $50. So if you want in on the $22.22 price, please let me know because we'll get you enrolled in that pre-sale. So the first card I pulled was Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeing the light, lay foundations, divine plan. It's hard to see cards sometimes when I have the virtual background. So this is an older lady. You see she's kind of overseeing the earth and lots of things, maybe at a cemetery or a river or something. This card for me, I'm seeing a squiggly line and then like someone drawing out a lot of plans along the squiggly line. But I'm not seeing like a normal timeline like this. Okay, can you guys see that? Well, it didn't help. Maybe it was. I'm not seeing a normal timeline like this. I'm seeing something like this, where there's stops along the way, but you're going to have ups and downs. So I think that's about trusting your intuition. Whatever. It's a squiggly line like this, not a straight line. Okay. And there's little hashtags along it. I think for this, it's really telling people when you need to connect, make a foundation of trusting your intuition, and then following the divine plan and not overthinking it. I'm seeing someone sitting there going like this with a no symbol over them. So don't be overthinking it. Don't be judging yourself. Really, really dive into what you want to do and foundations of where you want to be in life. And then go from there in terms of, I'm going to look at the book too. You really go from there. So making that divine plan, laying your foundation, getting to where you want to be. With this card, you can say, beloved Anna, thank you for laying the foundation of the divine plan. May the seeds of light within me be revealed, and may I surrender to my part of the divine plan. This is about what I was talking about releasing that judgment, okay, about doing the things, about following your heart, about listening to your intuition and growing that, planting that light, planting that seed within you. Really know that you have a bigger part to play in this whole divine plan of humans and people on earth. And your intuition is really one of your key connectors in that GPS. You know, there's like a universal map of the world. The same thing, there's a universal map of how energy in the world is exchanged and where it's going and all the things. So start tapping into that intuition, that GPS, all those things, and growing in your intuition. The next card I got was Mintakan, longing for home, belonging, the original light worker. So this card is this woman kind of with a river, and there's like glaciers here and like a little lake. You know, this, and she's like a mermaid. She's got a mermaid tail. This is talking about, what I'm seeing was like a big bear hug. I'm seeing the like sign language for love. I'm seeing that. So that was your mind, was the first card about laying the foundation. So stop thinking too much about that. But this one's about the body. This one I'm seeing a lot of physical, like hugging and love and embracing. I think this is getting back to like a woman greeting a bunch of people in like what looks like a small town, like you get a small town vibe from it. So maybe someone needs to go back home, or someone needs to connect in a different way to their home. But really going back to who you are original. I'm seeing like 17 turning into 18. So don't forget who you were kind of as a teenager. Obviously our bodies are not the bodies we had when we were teenagers, but in terms of your body, really, you know, the confidence I'm seeing is something people need to be working on. The confidence, the connection, the love for your body. You know, I was listening today and to Mike Dooley, and he was talking about, you know, we unconditionally love our kids just by being. So why don't we unconditionally love ourselves just for being, right? Why don't we unconditionally love who we are just about being, just for being, you know? So start to go back to loving yourself, really get to where you want to be. And you know what? You're never going to feel like you super belong with anybody else. So make sure that you're super belonging with yourself and really building that self-confidence. And like I said, today's theme that's come through to me in my meditation this morning was this theme of cooperation, and it's cooperation with your soul, cooperation with your intuition, and that sort of thing. So remember that. I'm going to look in the book and see what we get from the book. But mostly I'm saying you need to start with the love of yourself, get back home to who you are, get back to your roots, get back to who you truly are, and quit putting on these shows and these, you know, quit acting a certain way for certain people and that sort of thing. The little prayer that will go with this card says, I allow myself to be truly here and at home on this planet. I release any grief around not belonging or feeling held, and call in the perfect home. This is so about body. When I read that, it really triggers for me like the perfect little house with a star on it or whatever, like ding, this is the right house. I think that this is really honing in on that feeling of the home, of the love, of all the things. So definitely, yeah, tapping into who you are and how you are and all those things. Really getting back to you. Connect with Mother Earth, create life the way you want it, you know, create your own life. Perhaps you don't know where your home is, or you moved a lot, or whatever it is. Choose where you feel most at home and create your reality rather than waiting for the feeling of belonging to come. Start loving yourself before you feel like you're belonging. That's definitely where that Mintakan card is going. Mintakan. If any of you guys are wondering, this deck I'm using, it's called the Work Your Light deck by Rebecca Campbell. It's a Hay House deck. It says Work Your Light. I think she also has like a workbook and some other things, but it's these Work Your Light Oracle card decks. So that was mind. The mind, we need to really trust the divine plan, get our foundation going. The body, we need to create home, make that belonging feeling. And our spirit card says, call back your power, cut the cords, and retreat, soul retrieval. Okay, and this card has all these women under the eclipse of the moon. If you see the moon is eclipsed there, they're all got their guards up, and they're kind of in a circle there. Sorry about that. This card for your soul is about protection. And I think one of the things that we underestimate is that when we don't connect with our intuition and we don't get in tune, we are not connecting to our soul, and we are leaving our soul open, and we're leaving ourselves vulnerable because we're not connecting with that GPS. You know, like if you're driving in a city you've never been to before, and you're like trying to find a highway without the GPS, you could end up in a bad neighborhood. You could end up here or there or anywhere, right? You could be Dr. Seuss. But what I would say is you need the protection of your soul and connecting with your soul. Cut the cords from a lot of that ego thought that you have. Really let yourself dive into who you are. Call back your power. This card says call back your power. When you ignite your intuition and you get strong in your intuition, you're pulling back that power. You're calling back in that energy. So if it's something that you've kind of let lapse, or something you've never, oh my gosh, guys, I opened the book right up to the page for protection. Anyway, if it's something you let lapse or something you really haven't focused on, or you've never been experienced in growing in your intuition, think about the protection it can bring you. Yes, you will open yourself up to energies, but it will really not, and now mind you, most people are not going to be possessed or anything like that once they open up their intuition. But really looking into how can I use my soul for my own good? How can I feel more protected? How can I feel more amazing in my situation? So from the book, the little prayer, and I'll send you all the replay of this, but the little prayer is, I call back any lost soul fragments, power or light now. Any vows, soul contracts, hexes, or programs from the past, present, from this life or others that are not in the highest good of all, I relinquish now. Any power or light that I have willingly or unwillingly given away or had taken from me, I call back now. And any cords or attachments from this life or others, I release now for the highest good of all. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. So that's our little prayer for our protection one. I really think that if you check into your body, you start to feel your chakras, you start to feel your energy, you start to tune into your intuition. Sit down in that meadow with your intuition at any time. Sit down and ask questions. If you don't like the meadow, choose the beach, wherever, the bar down the street, whatever makes you happy, but imagine yourself conversating with your intuition, really getting to know your intuition. You want to call back your power. And when you call back your power, your intuition will be on fire. Your decisions will become easier. You won't be so stressed. I'm seeing someone like waking up like feeling very rejuvenated from their resting. So if you're stressed and overwhelmed and confused and don't know where to turn, please start to tune into your intuition, because that is your GPS. No, you don't know which way to turn down this downtown with all these one-way streets. No, it's confusing because you don't have your GPS. And when you get a GPS system in place, I mean, think about how we used to travel. Okay, we'd have to go to AAA and get a trip ticket and all this. And if you got off the trip, you had I don't know what to do, right? Or maybe you were one of those people who are real ballsy, just got on 77 or just got on 80, just got on the highway and went for a drive hoping you ended up in the right place, right? Not me. I always had and then I was like printing out maps and taking, if you missed the middle page, you got screwed, okay? So I want you to think about how you can call back in that power with your spirit. Really set the plan, really sit down with your intuition, decide what the foundation is for what you want to do with your life, what you want things to look like, create that divine plan. It may be kind of rocky. Create that divine plan, figure out what home is, figure out who you are, reconnect with yourself, and then get yourself that protection that you need by tuning into your spirit. So again, we had Anna, grandmother of Jesus, Mintakan, and then a protection card. So if you have questions on that, please feel free to reach out to me. My 2-year-old just walked in. If you have questions on that, please feel free to reach out. Like I said, I'm at Your Family Psychic on all social media, everywhere. And do any of you guys have questions now? I have still like about 15 or 20 minutes until I need to do anything else today. So if any of you guys have questions, feel free to reach out and let me know. I'm here. I hope that you all found this super, super helpful. Again, we will have another 12, it's kind of going to be 8-week intuition training that will start, I hope, in May. And in March and April, I will be at the Gift of Lights. Oh, I'm so happy you enjoyed it. So I'll be in a few places in March and April. I will have lots more events. I've also got on March 3rd, we'll go live on that Oracle card reading course. So if that's something you're thinking about, please let me know so we can lock you in at the $22 price. Like I said, I think it's going to go to $55.55, but it's really in that pre-sale price right now. So get in on that, because that's going to be even more about tuning in how these are Oracle cards. If you don't know what Oracle cards are, they're like decks of cards that are like a tarot card, but a little like less complicated. There's no suits. It's not usually got different meanings if they're upside down. I don't find tarot to jive with me. I know some people who love tarot, and my husband prefers tarot over Oracle. I love Oracle cards. My favorite, if you don't have a deck yet, there's one that's called Your Soul's Path. What is that one called? Soul's Journey. The Soul's Journey deck. And that's, you can get that on James Van Praagh. You can get that on Amazon. You put Soul's Journey Oracle deck. That's my favorite one to begin on. There's also a soul coaching one that I really love from Hay House, but you know, I will talk more about that in the Oracle card class. If any of you guys think you want to get in on that Oracle card class, please let me know. I am here if you guys want to schedule a call with me. And I think some of you did get the call as part of your ticket here. So we will connect at least on that level. I will get to all of you this evening with an email with details about how to sign up for that. And then if any of you guys are expecting the chakra poster, I can also send that to you as well. And you guys can have, it's a poster, it's a PDF. But you can print it out like a poster, like a two-sided poster. So if you guys have any questions, please reach out. Anybody have anything they want to share? I'm going to stop recording now. So this has been great. I'm so happy it's 222 and it's been fantastic. I'm going to stop recording now.